Why build a niche platform? I mean, there are tons of general ones out there already. Our sources make a pretty strong case that the broad platforms like LinkedIn or even the general co-founder sites, they often just miss the mark for specific communities like this. It's not just about finding anyone, it's finding the right someone who understands the culture, the shared background.
And that led Hamfounder to look at competitors in a really strategic way. They didn't just like pick names out of a hat, Y Combinator, Coffee Space, Co-founder, Slab, Founders List, Crunchbase. They saw it as a strategic mosaic, which I think is a great term. It's not just basic competitor research. It's like they're deconstructing them strategically. Hamfounder isn't just copying features. They're synthesizing the best parts, realizing that, real innovation often comes from smartly combining proven ideas, not always reinventing the wheel. That's a huge lesson for any startup, really.
So, what specific pieces did they pull from this mosaic? First up, this difference between a whole ecosystem and just a specialized tool. Like
Right.
Y Combinator, that's a full package, right?
Okay.
Accelerator, network knowledge. Then you compare that to, say, Co-Founders Lab, which is basically just for finding co-founders. What's the takeaway for Hamfounder there?
That their own structure needed to be modular. Hub-based is the term they use. It means they can start maybe more focused, maybe as a tool for connection, and they grow into that full ecosystem. With these separate hubs, for innovation, for growth and mentorship, for investment. And that modularity, it's not just tech stuff. It's a strategic choice for growth that can scale and last.
Okay, and the second insight, which feels maybe the most critical, is about trust and exclusivity.
Mhm.
Y Combinator, for instance, everyone knows about their intense vetting. It creates this deep trust. Founders List, though, is way more open. So for Ham Founders' kind of elite niche, what does that teach them about trust?
That trust isn't just like a nice-to-have feature. It's a fundamental API. Think of it like the basic operating system for the whole platform. Everything else plugs into it, runs on it. It's the glue. So that means building a really solid trust and verification service from day one,
Hmm.
maybe starting with community trust, kind of like Coffee Space, but aiming for that YC level elite vetting down the line. It's all about creating a high signal, low noise space where connections actually mean something.
Right, that makes total sense. And the third lesson, the user journey. From just an idea all the way to useful data. You got platforms like Founders Base or Copy Space focusing on the early stuff, the idea, finding a team. But then you have Crunchbase, which is basically this huge database for market analysis. It's more about the outcome. How do you connect those dots?
Well, Hamfounder's architecture is planned from the start to be scalable and analytical. The idea is to collect structured data all along the user's journey. Use that to build a knowledge graph. Think of it like a really detailed, interconnected map of the entire Iranian entrepreneurship scene, who knows who, what works, the insights, and eventually that powers things like market intelligence modules. So every interaction adds value back into the system.
And the last lesson, smart simplicity versus comprehensive complexity. Founders List is a good example of an MVP, right? Minimal viable product does one thing well. YC, like we said, is super complex, lots of layers. The lesson seems to be don't try to build everything immediately.
Exactly. And for Hamfounder, that translates into using a microservices architecture. Imagine building, say, a car, not as one giant piece, but as lots of smaller independent parts engine, wheels, electronics that connect together. Each microservice can be worked on, updated, even scrapped out without breaking the whole thing. It gives you huge flexibility. So the roadmap starts simple. An MVP that delivers that core value fast, then build out. Less risk that way.